So today I'm using the OBDSTAR to read Botch ECU to see how quick or if it can read it as said. So normally you select the ECU page and you go into it. So enter into it and we wait for it to load. Then after loading we search for the ECU. For this ECU is EDC17CP11, which is for Landrover and Range Rover, which has the processor type TC1796. So this is the pinout. I'll set it up. So one thing I like about this is its pitch and zoom, so it gives you a clear view of the ECU type. So we are doing bench, and with that you have to use the MP001 or the P003 plus or P00 because it has the GPT in it. So with that one you need to connect to the GPT1 and GPT2 or GPT0 and GPT1. So I'll wait for it to connect, and now you can see it's connected and it's writing the boot so that it can get the chip ID. So you have the chip ID and now you are good to go. So if you are reading Botch ECUs and your machine can't get the chip ID, you can't read it. So that's the chip ID. And also without internet it will not work because it has to verify the password and the code. So now I'm reading the EEPROM, and it will be the EEPROM is normally faster because it has less kilos, like less size. So it has only 2 sectors. So I'll wait for the EEPROM to read, and I'll wait for it to read all the 2 sectors. Then from there I'll read the flash also down. So this one has an internal EEPROM and internal flash. So normally when you see that, it means the flash and the EEPROM are inbuilt. They don't have a special EEPROM for it. That means it's an inbuilt. So I'll save it with the cast name. This is Discovery3 ECU, and it's a diesel, I think 3.5. So I'll save it with the cast name so that later I can retrieve it and work with it. So when you see the internal EEPROM, you see internal EEPROM and internal flash. Normally when writing data, it's supposed to be 2013. When writing or reading data, that means you can't change. But when you see external EEPROM, that means you can change the EEPROM, or it has a separate EEPROM. So after that, I'm trying to see if I'll see any data, but I'm not able to see any data, and it's all zeros. It doesn't mean the read is wrong. Maybe the editor couldn't handle it, so it doesn't mean the read is wrong. So with this one, when you are doing one-on-one cloning, it will work. So I'm reading the flash now, and the flash has a lot of sectors, so it will read through all it. So now it is unlocking it again because it has to unlock the boot so that it can get access to do the reading. So you can see did the verification, and now it has 13 sectors, and I'll wait for all the 13 sectors to finish reading. So now it's at the 6th sector. So with this one, you wait for the flash sectors to be read, and normally if they are, so as it is reading now, if I have to write it again, it will write it quicker because if it compares the sectors and they are the same, it doesn't need to write it for some of the ECU, for mostly some of the ECU, but for others it will erase all the sectors then rewrite them. But for some it will not erase them, but it will rather compare them sector by sector. So any sector that you've done your modification in, it will rewrite it, and the sector that you've not done any modification in, it will skip it. So it makes some of the ECUs, when the sectors are the same, it writes very fast. Mostly when you are using the multiprog, you usually see it that way. It's really read fast when all the sectors are the same. But this one, I'm still waiting for it because I'm now reading it and I don't have the file. So I will allow it to read all the sectors. And if I should have written all the sectors back, it would have been a bit faster. It would be skipping the sectors to tell you that they are the same sectors. So what I'll do now is I'll wait for it to finish reading. Then from there, I know there is the next stage to go. So I'll save it and later, maybe when I'm having any issue. And also with this ECU, I've tried editing the file, the VIN number in the file. When you do that, it doesn't work, and it doesn't work. So I'm at the last sector, which is reading now. So that is 78%, which means I'm almost done. So I'll wait for it to finish the read. And then I'll also see if I'll be able to see any VIN. But I don't know why the EEPROM I had all those 000. If it was F, then I might say it couldn't read or it's a bad file. So, but for this, I'm not going. Maybe later I'll do a video on writing it. But because I don't have any modification on the file, so I don't need to do anything. And PCM Flash can read it. OBDSTAR can read it. Multipro can also do that. And it depends on your preference. So with this one, it's almost done. That means it took a bit longer on the last sector. So it is almost done, and it has to end the configuration and log out from the bootloader. So you can see I'm done. So sometimes you can use the TC1796, which is the processor type, to read the system. So maybe if you have MED or ME series, you can use it to read it. And mostly some of the machines also do emo off on it. So you can see it's configuring. That means it's moving back to the normal stage. And even if you disconnect it, I don't think you have any issue with it. So this one also, I see 0 sectors. So what I'll do is, maybe when I'm using the multiprog and I'm doing a video on it, I'll copy this file and compare it and see if all of them are the same files. So this way I can even easily load the data onto your hex editor, then edit it, then that's the modification, then you save or you just write it onto the ECU. And anytime you are done, remember to do the disconnect. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. Always remember to disconnect when you are done with it. Although some of the ECUs, when you don't do that, it doesn't affect it.